Tariro, I'm going to put you on the spot during this whole program. What are we doing? Bridget says the laws are there, plenty plus. The policies are there, plenty plus. What are we doing to ensure that these are translated into action?
Well, we have the laws, yes, indeed we do. And we also do have the policies on the ground. And implementation is taking place. For example, the Zimbabwe Media Commission came up with a sexual harassment policy that is governing the whole media industry sector. So we do have an implementation matrix that is going on. But I think what we need as a country is penalties on these laws and these policies that we are coming up with. We need to put penalties on gender-based violence, penalties on domestic violence, even rape has penalties. Someone knows if I rape someone, I'm going to go to jail. I think we still need the same as far as gender equality and promotion of women in leadership roles is concerned. That would help with the implementation of these laws and policies.
I love your train of thought, Madrin.
Yeah, I'm sure we are aware of the Criminal Code 164 A and B. It now criminalizes even issues of cyberbullying and the like. And if we look at the Labour Act right now, on its preamble, it now has a gender-based violence, sexual violence description in it. And Section 65 as well, it also talks about issues to do with equality when it comes to issues of pay, etc. But where Abigail's concern is on the issue of why we still have these challenges. And in my view, I think patriarchy is a big elephant in the room because there's a lot of deconstruction that needs to take place. For example, laws are there, but you find that social norms at times they can override the law. For example, in areas where there's perpetuation of child marriages, you find that if they believe that this is a social norm, even if the law is there, you find that the social norm overrides that. So there's a need for deconstruction, engaging traditional leaders, engaging, introducing, embarking on male engagement initiatives, and also having discussions like we are having. I think that way we will be able to make milestones.
I hear a lot of education, a lot of campaigns need to be done to conscientize the society. But from a young person's perspective, you are still at uni, from a young person's perspective, what mechanisms do you think, besides the educational talks and the campaigns, what mechanisms do you think government or organizations such as hers, Tariro's one, we'll pick on Tariro, what do you think they can put in place to ensure effective enforcement of and implementation of the laws and policies that support what we are talking about, that support women leadership?
Wow, that's a good question. I would like to speak on behalf of those who are still in uni and colleges and high school as well. Well, as Madrin says, the laws are there. Even at our institutions, we have the laws, but there's nothing done when someone violates the policy or the law. So what I think is there should be penalties, as Tariro said, that should be effectively implemented when someone violates the laws or the policies that are there.
But I'm wondering, ladies, Padari Panab, are we saying that there are no penalties to passing me over for an important role in society when I have the credentials? Are we saying there are no penalties to that?
Can I come in, Abigail? You know, I think this is a behavioral change mindset. Like
psychiatrists should come in.
Yeah, no, at some point they
not
should.
Necessarily. I would bounce back to you. Why do we still have robbers? Why do we still have thieves? Why do we have people who commit crime? So I think there's this thing, belief that I won't be caught. I can get away with it. For example, during the times when the pandemic struck HIV, there's this notion that it won't be me, it won't affect me. That time before we had art. So I think there is this deliberate ignorance from society where they know the implications, but they are ready to take risks for whatever reasons.
Can they come in as well?
Yes.
I think the other problem has to do with attitude change amongst us as women as well. Because the laws are there, but there are instances whereby we do not take up ownership of those laws as women in Zimbabwe. We kind of ignore what the laws are being implemented for. For example, we have the sexual harassment policy that I was talking about before at the Zimbabwe Media Commission, but we rarely get any reports from women. People know it's there, but they don't come in to report. They assume that the administrator of that law knows that things are happening within the industry, and yet the administrators most of the times cannot act if there is no report that has come in.
But Tadira, one could ask and say, are there any safe places or safe ways of reporting the abuse? Isn't that perhaps one of the reasons why women are not taking advantage of the laws?
Yes, like I said before, there's actually a matrix on the sexual harassment policy that I'm talking about, an implementation matrix which protects the person that has been abused or the reporter of a case. It protects you up until that case has been investigated and heard.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Perhaps the media ought to take up the chant and talk about this and make noise about this and continue until people don't want to hear it. Bridget, you were raring to go. What did you want to carry on about?
I think it's more like what she's saying, but I think the reason why we don't have enough precedent, the only way that we can have women empowered to then use the legal channels and take advantage of the laws to protect them is if we have that enough built-up precedent to actually show that if you go to the courts and report your case, the perpetrators will be brought to charge.
I will come back to you, Bridget. I'm sorry about this, but I know you are on the roll, but I'll come back to you. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.